Youth Council is a state agency under the Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs.
So you have a big job. Don't get scared. I'm talking about the responsibility. Unajua watu wengi wanajiuliza, na sasa huyu Aseli ametuletea nani huyu? But it's exciting to actually just meet you in person because the work that you've been doing on ground, especially with the entity, imetusaidia sana kama vijana kuget kujua why it's important for us to vote.
Yes.
So just tell me about the whole campaign. I know it's been massive. It's been from county to county. Imekuwa ni counties ngapi na mmekuwa mkipush agenda gani?
So the National Youth Council has set out, especially during this election period, to ensure that youth are involved and participate in the electoral process, and especially just leverage on their democratic right. And why do we say leverage? The big question we asked ourselves, and I would like to give a shout out first to my boss, Mr. Roy Sesaka-Telewa, because he really opens the space up for young people. So the big question we asked ourselves, what's the youth opportunity in our democracy? And initially we had analyzed the numbers together with the IBC-YCC, which is a youth coordinating committee. And so really the uptake of young people to go out and vote was very minimal. The registrations were minimal. The second round...
So kusema minimal namanisha, what was the expectation? Alafu kwa ground nini ilifanyika?
So the expectation was to have at least almost 80% of the youth go out and register. However, that did not happen.
Did we get at least more than half?
No.
Oh, goodness.
No. So, and that's why we went for the, there was also the request to IBC to do a second mass voter registration, which was granted, and this was especially for young people. And we went out and did activities that were really suitable for young people, concerts, sports, as we even encouraged young people to register. And they came out in better numbers. We had a better outcome for the second mass voter registration. But that still, the youth registration was still a little bit less.
Yes.
And you can see that really reflects on the youth voter apathy. But the big question...
Sema apathy ni such a big word. Hiyo apathy inamaanisha nini?
Inamaanisha vijana hawataki kwenda kuvote. Maybe preconceived ideas, maybe wana feel their vote will not count, maybe they feel it's already predetermined, as most young people say.
So the lines are open, 0719 012 Let's pick a call to sikia watu wanasemaje. Vibes Radio, good morning. Vibes Radio, good morning.
Morning.
Talk to me. Yes.
It lazima ngeo ndo massive.
Yes.
Sikuwa nataka kuvote lakini kuna mtu alisimama kwetu nikaona venye anasema.
Dani alisimama kwenyu akasema nini? So utavote?
Hadi nilikuwa teketeke.
Juni mtu
manifesto zake zinanibaba.
Ulichukua juni mtu wenyu ama ni juu umeangalia sera?
Sera zake zilinibaba sana.
Hapo sawa, asante sana. Good morning Vibes Radio. Are you going to vote?
Niaje?
Poa sana. Ulichukua kura na kama ulichukua utavote?
Mimi naona hizi sera za Wajakoya. Kwa fiti lazima nivotie.
Sawa, asante sana. Good morning. Una vote?
Good morning.
Punguza sauti ya radio yako tafadhali, alafu tuambie utapiga kura.
Nakupata loud and clear, nitapiga kura.
Kwa nini utapiga kura? Ni juu ya sera za watu ama ni juu ni mtu wenyu ama juu wewe tu ni juu ulishachukua kura?
Ni haki yangu ya kupiga kura, ni haki yangu. It is my right and my responsibility to vote.
It is your right and responsibility. Umesema jina ni nani, kutoka wapi?
Ni Lazarus Okechi kutoka Riruta Fertilizer.
Asante sana. Dalzon, tuambie unapiga kutoka wapi na utuambie, are you going to vote?
Yes, I'm going to vote, Brian.
Unapiga ukiwa wapi Dalzo?
Kayole.
Watu wa Kayole, kwa nini utavote? Ni juu ni haki yako, ni juu tu ulichukua kura, ama ni juu mtu wenyu amesimama, ama juu kuna mtu sera yake ilikubamba?
ni haki yangu, alafu wa MP amefanya kitu fiti sana na lazima tunamrudisha kwa kiti tena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aya, asante sana. Wacha tusikie one more then we get back to the conversation. Good morning. Aya, punguza sauti ya tenje baba. Aya, ni kama tumpati tafadhali. Yes, so let's one more then we go in. Ras Jotomoto, good morning.
Jotomoto kutoka Gatondo.
Watu wa Gatondo wanasemaje? Mna vote kwa nini? Una vote kwanza?
Vote kwangu ni future yangu. Kuvote kwangu future yangu. So lazima ni vote.
So una feel uta vote because ni future yako una secure.
Yeah, lazima ni design future yangu bana.
Hapo sawa. Asante sana. Hiyo response ni moto tu kama jina yako. Umesikia, his name is Jotomoto, so I had to, you know. Yeah. So that's the feedback on the ground. Tutaendelea kuchukua calls na pia naweza penda muulize zile maswali tough zenye mnataka kujua kuhusu history ya voting process. Kuna kitu imekushinda, ushai vote when you first time voter, second time voter ama kitu kama hiyo. Ridina, you've heard what they had to say about this. Na kwa ground umeona, kwa ground pia mambo si ati ni mchezo. Kuna wale youth wana vote because they know what they want. Sijasikia so far anyone saying that they won't vote, but how is the ground like? Because I know you've done a lot of groundwork. You're in Kilifi County now, in Nairobi you did it. So how has it been? Najua Menda County is mob sana.
Tumenda County is mob, lakini nafurahia sana. Everyone who has called mwenye amepiga kijana anaenda kuvote. So that is very encouraging. And that is what tumekuwa tukiinsist. Na wanavotia nini? Ni sera zipi wanavotia. And therefore, and that is what informed the youth policy dialogues forums. Just to sensitize young people, what is this you're voting for? Yes, go out and vote, but what is this you're voting for? And the person who is coming in, is that person going and champion mambo ya youth? For instance, last week, the entire of last week, tumekuwa tukiongea opportunities in water and forestry, arid and semi-arid areas, climate change, human resource and labor. Na tunaangalia why we chose to look at this specific issues. Ukiangalia the kind of shift into where jobs are coming in, into where the biggest contribution of young people is going to be, you realize that these are the spaces that will open up. But vijana, are they aware that these are the spaces that will open up? You're seeing all this conversation on climate change. You're seeing all this conversation on blue economy. Vijana, tunajua huku ndio tunaenda kupata kazi ama tunaangalia tu zile vitu ambazo tumeangalia previously. Na kama tuko kwa hizi counties that are strongly in these sectors, vijana within those counties, are they looking at these sectors? Kwa hivyo tunaangalia sana hii conversation ni kupatia vijana a sense of purpose, a sense of inclusion. Ndio wasifikirie wakishamaliza kuvote ni hivyo tu amevotea mtu, lakini wanaendelea na hii conversation. Wana include hizi ideas into the planning, into the county planning, which is the county integrated development plans. Halafu pia the national plans are being developed. Kwa hivyo hizi ideas na penye vijana wanataka kuwa involved, and that is now where they exercise their full democratic rights into inclusion into these plans. Once they vote, they can go ahead and hold accountable their leaders into this different areas where they want to be involved.
Nasikia kuna ile push mmekuwa mkifanya, it's the last minute. Nimesikia sijui voter strong. Nimesikia throughout the week. What is it about? Because kuna hiyo policy pia naweza penda watu wajue what was in that youth policy. What was it pushing for? Alafu pia kuna kitu moja pia ya IDs. Kuna watu wengi wamekuwa wakisafa, like you're trying to get your ID, it takes longer, na imefanya kuna wale watu wajeza kuchukua kura. What's your take on all that?
So we've been pushing the 39% strong, which is the youth. We are 8.8 million registered voters. When you look at the entire registered voters, which is 22 million. So we are saying, yes, we are here at 39%. Like 39% inaweza make difference. And therefore, kila kijana yule ambaye akona kura, tafadhali ujitokeze uende upige kura, because that 39% vote is really critical and can make a huge difference in the election. And when that happens, incorporated with our policy dialogue forums, we can really now come and hold the leaders accountable proceeding into that. Therefore, 8.8 million vijana tusicheze.
Yes.
Twende tuamke asubuhi na mapema, twende tupige kura. Kwa sababu 8.8 million voters, it has a huge impact and difference to make.
I believe so. Just to go back on the story ya IDs. Kwa ground najua vitu kuna watu wamekuwa kistruggle, una apply ID yako unaambia kuja kesho, kuja Monday, kuja lini, and then someone just gives up on that. And giving up on even the registration means that you've given up on your vote.
Yeah.
So that's why our vote has not been as strong as we would have wanted it to be. Because I tuko 39% strong.
Yes.
I wish ingekuwa inachezea hapo 80%. Unaona?
Yes.
No, at least 80% would have been mayuto wamejitokeza, and they're doing a very good percentage. So what's your take on all this? And how can we make sure that maybe later on we can have policies that favor young people, even in trying to get kwanza your registration, they're given a priority because they give the biggest push even in labor when it comes to the country. Na si labor peke yake, even ideas, unajua?
Yes. So on the ideas matter, yes. The push to, and especially right before the registration were taking place, there was quite an aggressive push to have young people registered, get their IDs, and really get that done. The few that haven't gotten and the few challenges that were there, these are amongst the reforms that have to be done, because one of the things that we were trying to see and push, because the voter the registration is usually continuous throughout the 5 years period. It doesn't happen at one time. So as you register, how can we ensure that young people are also going to the constituencies to ensure they're getting their voters card? It's something that we're really pushing and getting to see that as you register for your ID, how can we encourage you to go ahead and start getting your voter's ID? In addition to that, the question you raised on youth-friendly policies. Indeed, Kenya has the Kenya Youth Development Policy. But when you look at the county governments, which is where a lot of youth are found within the rural region or uko kwa macounty, unapata only 4 counties out of 47 wako, they've passed the youth policy. Hiyo inamaanisha
only 4 counties.
Yes. Hiyo inamaanisha 10 years post devolution, the youth have been left behind in the devolved system of government. Na hiyo ndio ilifahamisha why we are pushing for all 47 county youth policies. All of them during this period to ensure that as we go into the next 5 years, no youth is left behind in the devolved system of government.
Wow. Hiyo kwanza hiyo number, it's very shocking. 4 out of all those counties. Now, what can be done to make sure that maybe the next time we get into such a process, isikweni we are pushing for voter registration just when we are just about to vote.
Yeah.
Ikweni something that we make it a culture in that people know the importance of, especially the young people knowing the importance of the policy. And then also to just make sure that even in the devolved governments, young people are respected, because Kiambu County has done it. We've seen young people come together na wakapush mpaka motions zikaingia pale, and they were able to get what they wanted. And hiyo inamaanisha we have potential, but potential is not enough. What do you think about this?
Potential is not enough. One thing that tunaskuma kabisa is actually the intergenerational diversity or intergenerational mix. One of the things that National Youth Council yenyewe imefanya ni kwamba when we were looking to develop all these policies, we sat down with Council of Governors. Now, this is just to inform them that this is a big gap. Na Council of Governors sat down with us and said, ikifika induction ya governors na CECs, this is a critical point that will be raised.
Yes.
It is part of the induction of governors that all 47 counties should have the youth policies, and that there is the guidelines of inclusion in the CIDP. Sasa kwa hivyo, what we have done and what National Youth Council has set an example for is actually the intergovernmental relations, making sure that conversation and the conversation we are having is not only talk, because easy policies zinaenda kuimplementiwa in the county government, and therefore went a step ahead to get that commitment from the Council of Governors. Within that now is where our inclusion and everything will happen. And this hii inatusaidia kuonyesha vijana kwamba we need each other to ensure that a process is end to end. Vijana hawezi fanya kazi peke yao, and the older generation cannot do it alone. And therefore, when we come together and work together, we can be able to achieve that which we are looking at. Now, this process, and also vijana wanafaa kujua about timing. Kila wakati mtu uliza, will this be implemented? Will this be implemented? But timing is very critical. When we miss out in the plan, then we shouldn't expect to implement anything. Kenya is a very Kenya works on legislation and the plans they have set out. And therefore, that is why during this period, there is planning going on. Na tunaambia vijana, be on the lookout. Involve yourself in the plan. Imagine if 75%, which is the population of the younger people, if you're sitting in a public participation and 75% are youth, don't you think our ideas, don't you think our programs, don't you think our priorities will be passed if we have that majority?
Yes.
Na hii ndio kwa maana we are really pushing for this, where be involved, let it not be just a number. Let it not be just we are 75% strong. No, we are 75% strong and we are involved. In that meeting, when they do the count, they find that young people are 75%. Na hiyo ndio what we are trying to stress.
Playing reggae like you've never heard before. This is Vibes Radio.